This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Christopher Pia, town of Stratford on July 27th, 2020 at 6:16 p.m. I'm going to call the public hearing to order. And with that, are there any public comments that would like to speak for the NAA public hearing?
Yeah, Chris Carroll, Sterling House, 2283 Main Street.
Go ahead, Chris. How are you? You have the floor.
All right. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I just want to thank you for continuing this hearing. It's the fourth year that we've done NAA through the town of Stratford. It brings money into Sterling House from the area corporations, and this year we're asking for up to $100,000. We won't get that, but you have to set a number, and we're going to use it for a number of energy efficiency projects, including the remaining windows and exterior doors that haven't been done. Our main roof needs a roof replacement. If we have extra money, we want to allocate it towards that. Our second floor and preschool bathrooms need upgrades. Third floor, we want to continue the energy upgrades on that floor with insulation. And if there's anything left, we have an HVAC project that we need extra money for too. So that summarizes what we like to do. And I thank Chris Bandecki for doing this for 4 years and the council for taking the time and expense to hear this and to put the paperwork necessary up to the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that. We all do. Is there anybody else on the line for public comment on the NAA public hearing? Is there anybody else?
Chairman Pia, this is Chris Bandecki with the Mayor's Office, Town of Stratford.
Bandecki, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I support Sterling House's application. This is a great program that's offered by the Department of Revenue Services. It's a tax incentive program whereby businesses are eligible for up to 60% or 100% tax credit based on the type of program that they're giving money to. And it's a big benefit to nonprofits and businesses in the community. So I'd like to thank the town council for for holding this public hearing and for hearing Sterling House's application. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bandecki. Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Mr. Perillo, I saw Mr. Perillo waving. Do I have a second?
Greg can, if you like.
I have Mr. Tavares on the second. Okay. So I'll call for vote. All in favor, signify by saying
aye.
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 Aye. Thank you all. Public hearing is now closed. We're going to keep this line open. We will start the special town council meeting at 6.
Mr. Wright, could you stop recording?
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Pia. This is the July 27th, 2020 special town council meeting of the town of Stratford. We call this meeting for a couple items, and I'm going to ask that we get right in. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 2, a resolution regarding the 2020 Neighborhood Assistance Act tax credit program.
So moved. This is Bill O'Brien, 9th District.
Motion by Mr. O'Brien. Thank you, sir. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Perillo. Okay. Any discussion? Any discussion on the item as heard from Chris Carroll and Chris Bandecki at the public hearing? No? Okay. Great program. And we're happy that we all can continue to get this done for the community in Sterling House. So with that, I'll call for a vote. I will not do a roll call. It'll be a simple aye. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries 9-0.
Mr. Chairman, it's Brian Leclerc. If you could just note that all council members are present with the exception of Caitlin Shake, who is working this evening.
Understood. So we have 9 council members present this evening. Ms. Shake is working, and we just passed that 9-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next item on the agenda, item number 3 on the agenda, the Worcester Gymnasium floor refinishing contract. I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Perillo, thank you, sir. Do I have a second to this, to Mr. Pillo's motion?
Second by Dave Harden.
Mr. Harden, thank you, Councilor Harden. Under discussion, so Attorney Florek, if you can bring the council up to speed on this and why we're discussing this tonight.
You awarded this contract to refinish the Worcester gym floor to O'Sullivan Flooring back on, I believe, June 8th. After you awarded that contract, the architect, the project architect, Brian Snyder, forwarded a contract to O'Sullivan and then did not hear from him for the rest of the month. Finally, after a somewhat acrimonious conversation between Brian Snyder and O'Sullivan, a signed contract finally showed up on July 1st, I believe. Then began an odyssey of another couple of weeks while the project architect attempted to get a project schedule of work from O'Sullivan. Again, no response, no response, no response. So it was referred to me. I did some research. My recommendation was that you could, under the circumstances, terminate O'Sullivan and go to the second lowest bidder. And on July 23rd, I believe, Mo McCarthy forwarded a letter to the low bidder O'Sullivan, telling him he was terminated. At which point, as I understand it, and maybe I know Brian's here, maybe he can shed some more light on this. Suddenly this morning, the O'Sullivan just showed up at the job site with his crew. He was denied access, and he claims that he's ready, willing, and able to work. But I don't want to put words in the architect's mouth, but I believe Brian feels that he no longer trusts him to be able to bring this job home on time. And he has spoken to the second lowest bidder already, who is ready, willing, and able to take up the mantle and can finish it on time. There are just two small qualifications. I'm not sure, this project was already bid out in a competitive bidding. So I'm not sure that we require it, but to go to the second lowest bidder. But out of an abundance of caution, the mayor should exercise her power, if you're going to do that, pursuant to the code, section 14 of the code, to waive the competitive bids to go to Atlantic Flooring, the second lowest bidder. Second note is in the contract, termination is supposed to give 7 days notice. Mo's letter apparently only went out on the 23rd. So if you are going to award the contract, I would award it as of June 30th. And with that, I'll ask Brian Snyder to fill in any gaps that I may have left out.
You did a really good job filling all the gaps. The bottom line is I reached out to this guy. There was a bid opening May 27th. I got him a contract by June 5th, and I had 8 to 9 points of contact, either text, emails, or calls, and left messages from that point to early July, asking for contract bonds and insurance. He never returned my text, calls. He didn't reply to anything until I threatened him to go to the town to go to the second bidder. And all of a sudden I get a call in half an hour. So I'm like, okay, let's move forward. We still have time. He got me the contract. Then I immediately emailed him and said, please forward me a schedule. Again, radio silence, no reply, no nothing. And then this morning he just shows up. He didn't give any notice whatsoever to me, to Mo, to the school. Is it okay if I start on Monday? Nothing. He just shows up. So not easy to work with.
So Mr. Snyder, in your opinion, awarding it to the second bidder, this is Chairman Pia, sorry, awarding it to the second bidder would not cause a problem with our timeline here, correct?
No. I reached out to him. I've been in contact with him, and he assures me that he can meet the deadline, and he's actually ready to start within the next couple days, assuming you guys give the okay.
Yep. And Attorney Florek, from a legal perspective, assuming we make the contract offer as of June 30th per your recommendation, award, excuse me, as of June 30th, you feel comfortable with this regarding the breach of contract and the termination?
I do. I feel that you're entitled under the circumstances to do what you're doing. I know that he showed up today. I know that he says that he's got time and money into it for bonds and for materials. I haven't seen anything that verifies that. So is he entitled to sue at some point? Sure, anybody can sue for any reason, but I feel very confident that we could prevail on any kind of a breach of contract suit.
Chairman,
Okay, so I'll open up further discussion with Councilor Poisson.
Mr. Chairman, I think Attorney Florek said June 30th. I think he means July 30th, correct?
That's correct. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right.
Thank you, Ken. Any other discussion? And Attorney Leclerc, being that the resolution is typed as is, and that was the motion by Mr. Perillo, we have to amend that to add in the language of July 30th.
Attorney Florek, would you agree? Yes, if you want to add that language in, you'd have to amend the item to add that in. Yes.
Yes, you would.
All right,
Yes.
so before I ask anyone to amend that, is there any further discussion on this?
Just a quick question. This is Laura Dancho. I just wanted to know what the cost difference is between the two bidders. Is it a significant amount between the two of them? I don't remember what the first.
It's about $3,000, I believe, Laura.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions for Attorney Florek or Mr. Snyder?
Chris, Greg Can.
Go ahead, Greg.
Mr. Snyder mentioned he was looking for a schedule and some other items after the first bidder originally finally responded to the signing of the contract. Did the first bidder respond with the schedule and the other items Mr. Snyder asked for?
He never sent a schedule.
Okay.
Thank you.
He showed up today, though, without any notice.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder.
My pleasure.
Good, Greg? Good? Okay. All right, any other discussion on this? If not, I will ask someone to amend to add the simple date of July 30th to award the contract as of July 30th.
I'll make that adjustment.
All right, so motion by Mr. Perillo to amend. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Antrim. Okay, any discussion on the amendment? Okay, just voting on the amendment to add in July 30th. Call for a simple vote. All in favor, please signify.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed. So the amendment passes 9-0. So back to the original motion as amended. We'll call for a simple vote. Please signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 9-0 as amended. I will call for last item on the agenda, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. Hey,
Second by Dave Harden.
Mr. O'Brien, who I heard first. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all. Everyone have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Stay cool.
Thank you, Dave.
This conference will now be recorded.